like to do. Would everybody please stand? And repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Be seated. Do we have any media present? Anybody? No? Doesn't seem like it, but if they're in the cloud, how would we know?
We're on TV.
That's true too. Thank you. Okay, approval of the agenda. I call for a motion to approve the agenda. Allison, do we have a second? Second, Gary, thank you. If there are no objections, then the agenda is approved. Approval of the minutes. We have two different minutes from the last two meetings. Call for a motion to approve those two. Shall we approve them together? Yes? Okay.
So moved.
Thank you. Who was that?
Second.
William and Allison, thank you. If there are no objections, then our minutes have been approved. Report of the chair. Okay, this is my time to talk. So, good morning to everybody, residents, staff, and board members. This is our very first board meeting with the new board members. We welcome them and very pleased with this new team. I'm looking forward to a good year. We have a lot of things that we plan to achieve, and the GRF members that are assembled here in right earnest, ready to implement, achieve, and accomplish projects for the good of the village and the residents. Our ultimate goal is to make life better, fun, and enjoyable. So, hold your seats, people. All right. So, a couple of minor announcements that I'd like to make is that there is a tree lighting ceremony coming up with a toy drive at Clubhouse 1 from 5 to 6:30 in the evening on Saturday, December 7th. They are requesting that you bring an unwrapped toy if you'd like to donate that. And also, I think the library people would be happy. The first holiday bonanza blowout at the library on December 4, 11, and 18th from 1 to 4 p.m. I know who will be really excited to know that I announced it. Anyway, thank you. And let's carry on. Next is the CEO's report. Madam CEO,
Thank
do you
you.
have something for us?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Honorable members of the board, as we close out 2024, we reflect back on VMS milestones. They are defined by innovation, resilience, and teamwork. 2024 has been a transformative year marked by adaptability and determination. By surpassing key benchmarks and launching innovative initiatives, our successes reflect on our shared commitment to excellence. This presentation highlights VMS's recent accomplishments, values, and visions, celebrating progress and anticipating a brighter future in collaboration with this and all the boards of directors. Our Financial Services Department is completing fee review per GRF Resolution 90-23-46, titled Fee Analysis Schedule. Working with the board, Financial Services is establishing shared cost percentages that can be adhered to moving forward for golf fees and equestrian fees. Our fees are anticipated to cover 100% of expenses in 2025, and traffic fees are based on the goal to decrease infractions in our community. Human Resources and Risk Management led the effort for property insurance renewal, wherein the mutuals collectively renewed property insurance as of June 1st, 24, with a combined premium savings of almost $2 million. In terms of employee health insurance, VMS continues to implement an alternate funding strategy to save money without adversely impacting benefits for our non-union employees. The estimated savings compared to budget in 2024 is approximately $300,000, and projected for 2025 is an estimated savings of $80,000. Information Systems is leading the Enterprise Resource Planning Project, otherwise known as the ERP project. Phase 1 went live on September 1st. This is the financial accounting module. Financial Services has now successfully completed 2 month-end closes using the new system, while the IT system is receiving feedback from end users, which has been valuable in addressing initial challenges and fine-tuning the system for peak efficiency. Information Systems and the Communication Division also collaborated to launch the new Village website. The new website launched November 2nd, features a fresh, modern look, improved navigation for easier access to information users need, secure password-protected governance documents, and enhanced search function, making it simpler and faster to find what users seek. In recreation and special events, we recently implemented the contract for outsourcing golf course maintenance to Troon Golf, as approved by this GRF board. This went into effect on December 1st, and at that time, existing golf maintenance employees moved to our landscaping services department to fill key vacancies. The estimated annual net savings is projected to be more than $180,000 a year due to this effort. Also, through the Clubhouse 1 renovation project, there will be additional reservable space available at the Performing Arts Center due to the billiards consolidation. And the Pool 1 has new plaster and a chemical distribution chemical controller system. The Recreation and Special Events Department also completed the annual review of the operating rules, which is on today's agenda for board consideration. In the Office of the CEO, we implemented the electronic meeting packets for in-person board meetings, saving $25,000 annually. The Communications Division digitized docent tours for prospective residents. This eliminates bus and bus driver costs for an estimated savings of $20,000 annually, and reducing the staff commitment by 270 hours annually. There is now a comprehensive community tour experience, a 20-minute video that takes viewers to all destinations of previous tours and then some. Website visitors can view the community tour experience on the homepage directly under the tagline, "Where New Adventures Begin." The Communications Division has also created a new Village Living Education program for new residents that stresses how new or newish residents can get involved, stay in touch to encourage engagement in our community, and address the feelings of what now after receiving your resident ID card. This new program began in October and is held every second Tuesday at 1 p.m. in the Community Center Elm Room. Village Television incorporated AI technology to generate closed captioning for all programming broadcast on the channel. This is a savings of more than $40,000 annually. The Resident Services Callback feature that was implemented earlier this year alleviates phone traffic during peak call times and reduces hold times. In this program, residents who call during peak times may leave a callback number as an alternative to waiting on hold. They receive a callback according to their order in the telephone queue. Year to date, through October, we've made more than 7,500 callbacks, and there is an average wait time of 2 minutes and 26 seconds for this service. Security Services recently installed a kiosk at their front desk. This new system logs and quantifies activities at the front desk, enhancing oversight and data management, and streamlines operations, ensures that incidents and interactions are accurately recorded. Security Services has also collaborated with the city, Orange County Fire Authority, and Orange County Sheriff's Department for integration into the county-wide coordinated communications system. This allows security services to assist in documenting and responding to medical aid and all other emergency activities within the village, provide timely and effective assistance to Orange County Fire and Orange County Sheriffs, ensuring rapid response to any emergency situation, and acquires better situational awareness of specific activity of service calls within our community by first responders. Our Maintenance and Construction Department has completed GRF capital projects on schedule and within budget, including the Clubhouse 1 beautification project, the Clubhouse 7 floor replacement, Equestrian Center security fencing and gates, the broadband HVAC replacement, and the asphalt seal coat and concrete replacement projects. The department has also completed mutual projects, including balcony inspections on 265 residential buildings, roof replacements on 56 buildings in United and Third, dry rot repairs and exterior painting program for 102 buildings in United and 46 buildings in Third, epoxy lining for 62 residential buildings in United and 6 three-story buildings in Third, and termite fumigations in 30 residential buildings in United and 40 in Third. The department also successfully negotiated a new 4-year union collective bargaining agreement, completed processing of a backlog of more than 1,000 damage restoration cases for the mutuals, and the Manor Alteration Division streamlined procedures for processing mutual consents. This reduces the processing time to 2 weeks or less from 8 to 12 weeks previously. Our Landscaping Services Department has implemented a formal quality control program. Work inspections occur following scheduled maintenance by the crews. More than 1,200 inspections have been performed in the last 8 months, and the average inspection score is 98%. Landscaping is also now using clippings pickup bags for its Friday clippings pickups. This saves more than 5 minutes per ticket, equaling a total estimated annual savings of about $20,000. Landscaping has also added high sides to its dump trailers. This increases the capacity of these trailers by more than 150%, reducing trips to the mulch yard by 83%, and results in an annual cost savings of more than $73,000. Our General Service Department has recently implemented a new parts washing unit in the Fleet Maintenance Division, which will save $5,400 annually by providing this service in-house rather than by an outside vendor. General Services has also renewed 2 revenue-generating agreements totaling more than $60,000 a year with Agewell Services and Arizona Pipeline. With respect to the Bright Ideas program, the VMS board has awarded 3 Bright Idea Program Awards in 2024 for the staff-designed resident services queuing system out here in the lobby that saves the community more than $7,300 annually, and then use of the Snap-It emergency window device to enhance community center safety for residents and employees, and the development of a process to better communicate approved resolutions to our departments. 2 additional suggestions are under review with an estimated total savings of approximately $200,000 annually. And I would like to conclude with the preferred delivery method. As you are probably aware, we have continually encouraged our residents to receive their annual mailings by electronic delivery rather than hard copy mail delivery. And if all of our members would opt out of these paper mailings, we'd save more than $90,000 per year. In the most recent November mailing, 30% of our owners have opted to receive mailings electronically, and this will save more than $28,000 annually. And just as a reminder, if residents want to receive their documents electronically, all they need to do is email info@vmsinc.org. And that concludes my presentation this morning. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Siobhan. That was a very impressive report. Next item is the open forum, 3 minutes per speaker. Michaela, could you read this, please?
Yes, we have, looks like we'll have 3 speakers in person, and then there's 1 email that was sent in for an item later on this morning. The first speaker is Chris Collins.
Oh.
Good morning, Chris Collins, 3306Q, and I'm here with an update on the work of the foundation of Laguna Woods Village done on behalf of residents experiencing temporary financial emergency. I can't hear you. Memorial Care awards hearing and grants to the foundation. I can't hear you. We've all heard that. Memorial Care is helping the foundation of Laguna Woods Village start an important initiative to address the problem of hearing loss. Memorial Care recently awarded the foundation a grant of $12,500 to help purchase hearing aids for residents qualified for such financial assistance by social services. John Stevens, a generous resident donor, is also providing matching funds in the amount of $12,500 to double the impact of the Memorial Care grant dollars. The grant, the grant funds the donation, and donation will hopefully permit the foundation to provide hearing aids to at least 12 residents as a part of the pilot program. The first step for residents who suspect that they need financial assistance to purchase a hearing aid is to have a hearing loss assessment. Free hearing loss screenings will be held Thursday, December 5th at the Florence Sylvester Senior Center from 11 to 3. An appointment is required, so please call 949-268-2246 or email the foundation at comline.com to schedule an appointment. Please include your name, address, mail address, and cell phone number. After the hearing loss is found, an appointment should be made with Laguna Woods Social Services. It's 949-597-4267 to see if you are eligible for financial assistance. More than 1/3 of older adults experience hearing loss, and the possibility of hearing loss increases with age. Hearing loss interferes with the ability to enjoy conversations with friends and family, to understand a doctor's instructions, respond to warnings, and even hear doorbells. Related balance problems may cause falls. More importantly, hearing loss increases the risk of developing dementia, loneliness, and depression. Treatment with hearing aids may offer the answer. If you have any questions about the hearing testing or hearing aid financial assistance, please contact Social Services at 949-597-4267 or the Foundation at 949-268-2246 or the Foundation at comline.com. And so for more information about the Foundation, you can always go to our website at thefoundationoflagunawoodsvillage.org, and please note that donations can always be made using PayPal or a credit card on the Foundation website. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Next speaker is Darlene Bacchus.
Good morning. My name is Darlene Bacchus, and I'm here to address my concerns regarding the new portal system, transparency, and what appears to be a lack of the adherence to the California laws of our governing documents. Number one, the governance and legal compliance. Under our CC&Rs, Article 14, any material amendment requires a vote or written consent of at least 67% of its members and 51% of eligible mortgage holders. It appears that the governance in this community has gradually shifted from a nonprofit mutual homeowners association to a privatized model where GRF and VMS operate like a municipality. Based on my understanding, this transition occurred without required member vote. If this is incorrect, I respectfully request the board to provide documentation showing when and how these votes were conducted. I am also concerned that any changes may conflict with the Davis-Sterling Act, which is designed to protect homeowners' rights. If GRF and VMS are now operating as a quasi-government entity, I ask, how does this comply with the laws governing nonprofit mutual associations? Were the members properly noticed and given a chance to vote on these changes? Privacy and a new portal system I'm going to speak to next. The recent rollout of the portal system raised serious privacy concerns. Many residents were unaware of this change until it was implemented. This system requires email access and forces members to agree to restrictive terms, potentially giving GRF and VMS significant control over personal information. This was particularly troubling in a senior community where many residents are not tech savvy and may not fully understand what they're agreeing to. I also find it alarming that GRF has allegedly implemented a new computer system without transparency and is reportedly, you can't get to the documents any longer that were previously accessible to the residents. If this is not accurate, I ask for clarification and public reassurance to address these concerns. I, for one, will not sign into that portal until terms are removed and greater transparency is provided. Number 3, comparison to other communities. Residents should be aware that similar changes have allegedly occurred at Leisure World Seal Beach, where GRF owns everything and the residents effectively become renters in their own community. If we are not vigilant, this could have the same future. This is not my reading. You can go to Seal Beach, go to a realtor, find out about their 17 mutuals, about their trust that disappeared, and about GRF who is in charge. We need to be aware. It's our homes we're talking about. Today, I ask the board and the management, are you governing this community as a homeowners association under California law or a privatized municipality? Where is the resident vote or consent for these significant changes? Service quality and residents' rights. Lastly, I urge my fellow...
Speaker time is up.
Madam, you're
I'm almost
out of
finished.
time.
Lastly, I urge my fellow citizens to reflect on the services we're receiving. Are you satisfied? I pay over $9,000 a year annually for landscape that many find substandard. Are you comfortable with the growing lack of control and transparency in your community? When we purchased property here, it was with the understanding that this was a California homeowners association designed and maintained to protect our homes. We did not sign up to surrender our rights or live under secrecy. Thank you very much for listening. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
A final speaker for open forum is Andre Torn.
Thank you very much for board members that you spend a lot of time working on these. And I really appreciate the chair's comment about make life better and fun and enjoyable. Okay, I really appreciate that. And I hope that we have some kind of performance measurement to tell us that this is a funner, the place is better, more fun, and more enjoyable. Okay. Are we going to establish some kind of oversight that tells us that this is indeed happened or this is not happening, or just talk? Okay, this is what we call oversight. This is what GRF, this is what board's responsibility is. I really appreciate you spend a lot of time on a lot of management issues, but please stay hands off. Let the management company do the management work, and you just stay on oversight and tell them to provide this performance matrix and prove that indeed our village community is a more fun, enjoyable, and a better place. Please provide us the oversight, okay? And also, I would like to say, maybe surprising to some, but the board has only one responsibility, only one. Your only one responsibility is to hire good managing agent to provide a service based on your criteria, based on your performance measurement of fun and enjoyable and better place. If it doesn't meet that criteria, you need to find another managing agent to do the job. Okay? If they are, if based on your performance matrix, it is indeed meeting your criteria, yes, you continue the contract. Okay? If there's any problem with that, you give them, ask them to provide the information to satisfy your performance matrix rather than jump in there and do the management for them. Okay? How do you know it's a job for them? Job description. Do they have a job description to do a certain job? If it's their job description, stay off it. Hands off. If it's not on their job description, ask the CEO to describe that in their job, or find somebody to do the job for you so you can stay off the job, stay off the management job. Okay? That gives you a lot of time to enjoy life. Like I've been off the board and I've been traveling. I hope you have the chance to travel at least 20 days, within your monthly meeting, and that will help you life much better rather than spending 30, 40 hours a month, 30 a week trying to do the job of management. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to receiving the performance matrix announcement, and let us know whether your decision to hire or replace the managing agent. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Do we have any other speakers? Oh. So do we have any comments for the people who spoke? I do. And I would like to thank Chris, who always comes and gives us fabulous information and constantly have something new and exciting for our village residents. So appreciate that. Thank you, Chris. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, one moment. Let
Oh,
me
me?
finish.
You first.
Huh?
Me first.
Can I finish? Yes. Ms. Baka, the paper that you read from, if you could leave that with the secretary so we can review it and how to respond to that, that would be helpful.
I will.
Thank you, because everything did not get into my brain, so
I understand, it's complicated.
it was a lot of stuff that you talked about.
You have to have a lot of history of this community to know.
Yes.
things that are wrong.
Yeah.
The history is disappearing.
Thank you. We will work on it, and thank you. And Andre, we thank you for your comment, appreciate it, and thank you for keeping us within our lane and talking about things that which we are already doing, and will continue doing that, and appreciate it. Now, who is next?
Thank you for coming forth. I don't know if the board is prepared to be able to comment on, those were some generalized allegations of procedure violations that is great concern for us. I was under the pretense that if you're informed of what you're voting on prior to, that you only need a 50%, not a 2/3 vote to. But I mean, we can look at what you've submitted, and yeah, I'm all for, like, if we created some kind of a satisfaction survey of how are people doing in our village to know if they're content with what they've got. Or with what the amenities that we're providing. That's always a good benchmark to review. Thank you very much.
Yes, Alan. Sorry about that.
Well, I'll comment on on Martin's comment. We have lots of surveys. I don't know that a survey will do that. I think maybe we need to go into job descriptions, but I really wanted to comment on Darlene's comment regarding the terms and conditions when you sign in to the website. They are restrictive. They are actually off with your head type of thing. So I really think they need to be looked at. And I don't know who was responsible for that. Was that ITAC? No?
Just leave it.
No.
We've asked her to leave her documents so we can review it, talk to the CEO's office and the
Yeah.
technology department, and
Okay.
see if there is some amendment that is necessary.
One more comment. I'd also like to get copies of the PowerPoint slides before the meeting, not after. Can we do that? Siobhan? Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Along the same line on this, I have gone out to that website and did find it quite annoying that after I had signed in, then if I want to look at a document, I've got to sign in again. It seems like it's overly complex. Don't quite understand why that's necessary.
Okay, we can discuss that when we get to our closed session, so we can talk more about it. Not that I want to. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, yes, Steve.
Regarding the website, I would just like to make a comment that it is newly initiated. It replaced an old website. The number of improvements and the scope of the work that it took to get the new website up were tremendous. And with any launch of any new computerized system or website, you're going to have some initial glitches regardless of how well your alpha testing was done in site. So I would just ask everyone to kind of vaguely hold on and give staff the time and the ability to make the corrections that need to be made. You just don't flick it on like a switch. I understand the concern about signing on. I've had the same experience. I also want to be clear that there is information contained within our website which has to do with financial matters of the mutuals and GRF and VMS, and that should not be for public consumption. That should only be for the consumption of the residents and the owners here. So there is a need for terms and conditions, and there is a need for security. And I just want to make that comment to Andre. VMS is mutually owned by United, Third, and GRF. VMS has its own board. The board members are elected or appointed by the owners, and the board establishes the appointment of the chief executive officer, and hiring is done through that process. So GRF does not have any direct control other than our appointed board members, as the board members are also appointed for the mutuals. So there is a process. It is well established, and that's the way it works. Thank you.
Okay. Are you done, Steve? Okay. Anybody else have any comments? No, I'm talking to my board members if they would like to make any comment to the speakers. Anyway, if we can move forward, next item is the consent calendar. We have only one item on the consent calendar. Would we like to approve it? Can I call for a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I move to approve the consent calendar as listed in the agenda.
Thank you. So we have Allison and Martin. If there are no objections, then it is approved. Next item is unfinished business. Looking for a motion to number 11A. Entertain a motion for approval of the equestrian fee recommendations. Can I get a motion? Thank you. William, Martin, second. This was on a 28-day review, and if there are no objections, then it is approved by...
To take a vote.
Huh?
Vote.
Sorry?
Discussion
Oh, you got
and
to
vote.
read it. I'm sorry. I'm moving very fast today. I guess I should get a...
Good morning. Resolution 90-24-XX, Equestrian Center Pricing Policy. Whereas the Resolution 90-12-132, which established guidelines for shared costs and fees, certain fees can be imposed upon users of various recreational fees in order to control crowding and to minimize overusage and to recover operating costs. Whereas the board periodically reviews fees as part of its business planning process to determine adequacy of revenues and shared costs and their adoption of the 2025 business plans, including certain fees. Now therefore, be it resolved December 23, 2024, that the Board of Directors and the corporation adopts as revised GRF pricing policy relative to the equestrian center per updated fee schedule. Resolve further that this fee schedule shall be effective January 1, 2025, and Resolution 90-20-20 adopted May 5th, 2020 is thereby superseded and canceled. And resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation on behalf of the corporation are directed on behalf of the corporation to carry out this resolution. Let's see, approval of this resolution is requested. I am not going to read all of the little fee things that went in there because it's nonsensical.
It's a tabulation, yes. It's all tabulated, so.
But, yes, it is tabulated. But it is my understanding that this is the plan in which 40% of the cost is borne by the owners of the horses and by GRF, and that 60% is supplied out of shared costs. If Steve would like to comment on that, I'd be happy to hear him.
Thank you. So the recommendation before you is a 70-30% split, not a 60-40. So
For the year 2025?
Correct. So on a go-forward basis, that's the recommendation before you.
Well, then this staff report looks funny. Okay.
That's for 26.
Okay.
I'll move the motion.
No, it's already moved.
Well, yeah, we're good. We've read
We
it.
could. We all have just to approve it, yes.
There is a member comment. A member would
Okay.
like to speak, if that's okay with the board.
Okay. Go ahead.
Robert Levy.
Good morning. So I just got my notification. I'm in a co-op, but I got my notification that my increase this year is $97, of which $243 goes to GRF, which is almost $3,000 a year that I'm paying towards your whatever fund you have. And I have a motorhome, a luxury item, and I park it here in the lot, and I pay the full cost for the maintenance
This is
that you
not.
provide.
We're talking about the equestrian center, sir.
I understand, I'm getting there.
Okay.
But I have a luxury item that I pay the full cost for keeping it there. But I understand that in the stables, that GRF is paying 70% of the cost for keeping a horse there, a luxury item. I don't understand the reason why I'm paying to have somebody keep a luxury item like a horse. And I thought last month you said, well, if you raise the rates, these people will leave. They'll take their horses. Fine. Let them take their horses. Why should I be paying for somebody to have a horse, of all things? It's unbelievable. If you're going to vote for this 70%, it just doesn't make sense. I was the president of the cribbage club, and you kept increasing the cost for us to stay in Clubhouse 7. Eventually, we had to leave. People die off from the club. We had 60 members, people die off, there's less funds coming in. You kept raising the rates, we had to leave. There's no more cribbage club. You should have been subsidizing us. You haven't. You're subsidizing horses. It doesn't make any sense. I called the golf course the other day to find out how much does it cost to play golf. $17. Oh, but we're going to raise the rates next year. How much? $1, $18. If you go to any golf course, public course locally, you pay about $80. We're subsidizing the golf course. We're paying, it's a luxury. We're paying $17, $18 to play golf. It should be $40, half the cost of a public course. It doesn't make sense to a lot of people that we're subsidizing horses and golf courses, and you keep raising our rates. $243 a month I pay towards somebody's horse. Thank you.
Next speaker is Darlene Backus.
First of all, I'd like to mention to you that I have been affiliated with the Laguna, there used to be Leisure World, since 1987. So I, of all people, know what a homeowners association is supposed to be and how this community started and what it was intended to be. Now, I have never seen, I pass the stables on Sunday. It's all gated off now. It's all privatized. We used to have people that would stop there, residents that went over there in the evening. I was not one, but you could see them out gathered and enjoying life and petting the horses and talking. We have that no more. Sunday, it's all locked up, locked. And it's not ours anymore. This is a homeowners association governed by California state law. It is not a business. And you are asked to run a business. And it's not a business. It's a business of homes. And if you could see the photos I've taken on my gate in gate 14 of the maintenance that has to be done on those buildings because of lack of maintenance. And I've never seen anything. We had horses all our lives. And this, even to ride on, that's another thing. All this is common area, belongs to the homeowners, the members, the residents. That's what we pay for. And now they're going to charge you to ride on the trails. That's unheard of. That's unheard of. It's craziness. We have to get back to basics. Thank you for listening.
Anybody else?
That's it for this item.
Yes. You want to respond right now? Okay.
I'd previously heard that the equestrian center is privatized and access to it is restricted and it's a private club. So I went last week and I walked right through the gate, the single gate on the sidewalk. And when I entered the equestrian center, I was greeted by the manager, Laura. Had a conversation with her. Laura, you're on Zoom, I see you there. And I mentioned to her that I had heard that access to the equestrian center was restricted because of the electric gate that was there. And she replied to me, she said, if you just pull up to the gate in your car, it opens up. So I just want to make that very clear to everyone, that when people make statements that it is a private facility, that access is being denied, that is absolutely untrue. As to the remaining remarks that I have about the cost sharing, hot topic, always have been, and will always continue to be. We are relying on staff to make the best recommendations for everyone in the community about what fees should be being paid by which members and when, and all of the fees are on a constant rotating review, and it's up to the GRF board to approve the fees as such. So if you do your due diligence, you'll find out that different activities have different cost shares. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, Martin.
And we got to keep in mind that golf, equestrian center, all the amenities that we have, the GRF maintains, these add value to your share of what you have here in Laguna Woods Village. So keep that in mind that, we're not devaluing any assets that GRF has. We've altered the fees to be more of a cost sharing in line with what our rule of thumb is of 65-35. But no, these are amenities that we need to maintain, and that adds value to your share or your unit that you have. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yes, go.
One second. Ellen?
All right. We have gone over the equestrian center fees, I'm going to say 3 times in CAC, finance, sent it back. We have gone over it in GRF. So this has been worked on for a long time.
That's true. Anyway, yes, Steve.
Finally, so Steve, in the staff report, on attachment 1, at the very top, it says horse boarding fees. 2024 fee is $265. Option 1, 2025 is $412. Option 2 is $650. On the resolution, the horse boarding fee for 2025 would be $412. I cannot see how that fits into the 70-30.
Sure, thank you. So just to address that comment specifically, the intent of the staff report was to give you a full disclosure of all the conversations that had taken place from what Director Leonard had mentioned just a moment ago. This started off in the GRF Finance, it went to CAC, there were a lot of different recommendations. So the goal was to capture all those recommendations, discussions, and comments in this staff report. Overall, the recommendation that was brought forth before the GRF board at your last meeting was to move forward with the 70-30 split. That was option 1.
Okay.
So everything else from option 2, again, that was just from a historical. Apologies if that misled, but the intent was, again, to disclose everything that was communicated up until this point.
So the table that is attached to the resolution
Is correct.
does not meet the 70-30.
It does. So when you extrapolate all the dollar amounts, it provides sufficient revenue to offset 30% of the costs. Again, this is a 70-30 split. 70% is a shared cost. 30% is recovered through fees.
Oh, well, I've got it backwards. I guess
Gotcha.
I'm an idiot. I thought we were finally going to recover a decent share of the fee. There's a veiled email running around saying that if you don't support this thing or this or that of little nice benefit that we want, we're going to sue every board member and stuff like that. I find things like that just to be, this is incredible. This is in the view of the fact that we were, and this question has been brought up before, but not deliberated on. It needs to be. We can go forward with this resolution. We're not going to rerun everything now, but the question of private property ownership and supporting wholly owned private property with community funds needs to be addressed. Yes. It needs to be defined, and a statement needs to be made. And if the whole community has to vote on it, so be it. But this is wrong, my opinion. Thank you.
We'll review this further.
Now if it's 70-30, then I understand it. Because we went from the incredible idea that we were once upon a time supporting 82%.
No.
Just to conclude, and I'll let the board discuss, but that was part of the recommendation that came before the committees previously. that ultimately, if you turn to page 7 of 16, that was part of option 2, that by 2027, it would switch to a 30-70 split, where 70% would be recovered through fees. Using today's dollars, that would drive the residents' share of the cost up to $1,400, which exceeds the price of pretty much all the local established areas, and therefore, more than likely, you would have a vacant equestrian center.
I have a real hard understanding of that. You know, I come from Bakersfield, where people have horses left, right, and in between, and you know what? They pay 100% of everything their horse eats in the stall that they live in. Thank you.
So can we move forward?
Call the vote.
The resolution.
Call the vote.
The resolution's
Can
been
we-
read, there's been a first and a second.
we
And
call for the
please
vote?
have a vote.
Yes. All those in favor? Okay, I can't see the number, but I hope you got the number.
Brad abstains.
Who was that?
Brad.
Brad is abstaining in the vote.
Okay, Brad is abstaining. And so is Egon. Okay. Yes.
I'd like to make a comment. Steve, we talked about the finance department being, reporting back to us bi-monthly regarding the expenses and what's happening at the equestrian center, so we could, discuss anything that's gone way over
Yeah,
budget.
motion is passed.
Correct. So the intent of that is at the CAC meeting, every 2 months, that information would be shared.
Okay, the motion is passed, so we can move on to the next one. Item number B, 11B, entertain a motion to approve the Recreation Special Events Department's operating rules. We reviewed this last month. We put it on a 28-day comment for review. So, Bill moves. Anybody second?
Yeah.
We need to second it and then he has to read it.
No. Reads it first.
Egon needs to
Reads
read
it
the
first.
resolution first.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay. So, before I read the resolution, I just want to comment that the staff report leading up to this is 160 pages, all of which have some changes on them. But most of the changes are minor things. For example, let me give you an example. If you're at the park and you're going in for a show and you've bought a ticket, it says tickets must be sold at the Laguna Woods Village residents only. Residents must be prepared to show the Laguna Woods Village ID when purchasing tickets. And they've just taken out must be prepared and just say must show. In other words, little common sense things like that are found throughout the rules. There are no major changes in the rules and operations of things. A lot of them deal with safety and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and read the resolution. Resolution 90-24-XX, Recreation and Special Events Department Operating Rules. Whereas the Golden Range Foundation has established Recreation and Special Events Department operating rules using GRF facilities, and whereas the Recreation and Special Events Department oversees the use of GRF facilities, and whereas the Community Activities Committee recommends the amendments to the Recreation and Special Events Department operating rules, and whereas on October 10th, 2024, the Community Activity Committee reviewed recommendation to the approval to keep the minimum of 10 years of age for guests at the Equestrian Center. And whereas on October 10th, 2024, the Community Activities Committee reviewed and recommended the approval of the recommendation and special events operating rules with corrections. Now therefore be it resolved, December 3rd, 2024, that the Board of Directors for this corporation are hereby adopts keeping the minimum of 10 years age for guests at the Equestrian Center. And now therefore be it resolved, December 3rd, 2024, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopts the recreation and special events operating rules with corrections, and further resolve further that the resolution 90-23-68 adopted December 5th, 2023 is hereby superseded and canceled to the extent that they differ, and resolve further that officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized to carry out this resolution as written. Approval of this resolution is recommended.
Can I have a motion to pass this resolution?
No, could you have a motion to, first of all, to make
We
the
have a-
resolution?
What-
The motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Comments? Anything from Sam? Okay, all in favor of the resolution? Unanimous. Resolution is passed. Thank you. Moving on, we have 11C. Entertain a motion to approve RV storage fee recommendation, November initial notification, 28-day notification for member review and comments to comply with Civil Code 4360 has been satisfied.
Thank you, Martin.
Can we have a resolution read, please?
Yeah, we'll get there.
We can find it.
Okay. Interesting, before I read the resolution, interestingly enough, just a little background.
Well,
Just
would
read
you
the rest.
say that for comments?
Okay, I'll save it for comments.
Read
All right. Resolution 90-24-XX, user fees for RV lots. Whereas Golden Rain Foundation of Laguna Woods has administrative control of the recreation vehicles RV parking lot A and B, and these spaces are rented to the residents. Whereas the current rate of $320 per year was established on January 1st, 2018, and has not kept pace with rising costs to maintain the operating facility. Now therefore, be it resolved, December 3rd, 2024, that the Board of Directors of the corporation are hereby increases the RV lot fee from $320 per space to $370 per space, effective January 1, 2025. Resolve further that the single flat fee shall be charged to users of all recreational vehicles, trailers, boats, trailer combinations, and units regardless of overall length, and that the fee be included in the monetary fee schedule, and resolve further that the resolution 90-17-37 adopted November 7th, 2017 is hereby superseded and canceled. Resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution. Approval of this resolution is recommended. November initial notification and 28-day notification for member review and to comply with Civil Code 4360 has been satisfied.
Can
Thank you.
I have a second?
Anybody?
Any comments? You had comment?
Yeah, here's the comment I want to make. This subject came under discussion about the same time that some of the other fees came under discussion. And while somebody stood up and asked for lower fees, there was no big kickback when, in fact, we adopted the latest fee schedule. Now, like horses, RVs are private property. I cannot go to any RV in any parking lot and either get in the RV or ask the owner to take me for a ride. It just doesn't work that way. And therefore, the owners are paying 100% of the estimated cost to run the RV lots, which only makes sense and should be something to look forward to and other such issues in the future. I'd like to point out, though, that even though they pay 100% of the renting cost of the space, of the operating costs, they get a tremendous benefit because nowhere outside could they rent for this, because the land properties around here are so valuable that rentals for RV spaces and stuff are very high. So even when somebody pays their whole share for what they're doing, they're still getting a significant benefit by being in Laguna Woods Village. Thank you.
Good. Yes.
Yeah, it's really nice that we own the land, and that is where, with us owning the land, and, you know, the RV cost to store is, you know, being borne 100% to the yeah, I agree totally that we can't go to the RVs, but by us owning land, we can charge that 100%, and they still get a great value.
Indeed.
And so, yeah, this is not a 65-35 thing, but we own the land, so it works out well that everybody wins in this one. Thank you.
Everybody? Anybody? Yes, Steve.
I have a question for Mr. Hormuth.
For who? Oh, Mr. Steve.
So you provided an analysis of the cost for the operating expenses annually for both lots, and that's on page 7 of 10. I have a concern. In February of 2020, $83,000 was spent to install an electric gate on RV Lot B. Prior to that electric gate, it was a manual gate, 2 large gates that had to be opened with a padlock. And people were complaining about having an issue with the padlock, and by the usual methods, recommendation was made to install an electric gate, and I believe at the same time an electric gate was also installed for security adjacent to that. My question is, how do we claw back the $83,000 spent on the improvement for a select group of individuals? Because it's not accounted for in the operating. So if you have any thoughts on that, I would like to hear them.
That was a long time ago.
I don't care.
So the easiest way to claw that back is it's a GRF, so it's a depreciable item. So I don't know what the spread of that expense, called amortization or depreciation, of what that would be. But if it was over 10 years, that would be the dollar amount. I'm just going to throw out a number and say $1,000 a year that could be added back to this. It's not currently included in the analysis, but if that's something that was interested, it's something that could be considered.
Okay, because based on the 415 available spaces with the 10% allowance for vacancy, that would be 374 spaces. To claw back the $83,000 for the improvement would be $222 per unit on the 374 spaces. On the 415 spaces, it would be exactly $200 per unit. Personally, I would like to see some increase in the RV fee above and beyond what's on the agenda today to claw back that $83,000 in a reasonable period of time.
If I can follow up to that, so forgive me not having your numbers in front of me, but with regards to, are you looking to recapture that $80,000 over the course of 1 year, or how much was that spread out over?
No, not in 1 year, but I would like to see the $83,000 recovered because it was an expense that particularly benefited the 77 RV owners in Lot B, and I don't think you're going to take it out and split the baby, so to speak. But, the total RV lot spaces are 415, and I'd like to see some mechanism to recover that, basically $200 per space for the 415 spaces.
Yes.
I don't think we have the knowledge or the past conversation of what occurred during that time when that gate was installed. They might have included something relative to the cost to capture that. You can't disprove that. So for us to now try to enact that, I think we might be playing a little double jeopardy here.
Correct. Yeah, it would be a little late in life to
Well,
kind of try to do
Then
that.
I'd like to make a motion to send this back to committee.
Say it.
Well, we're not finished discussing yet.
Discussing, right?
Discussion, yes. Who
Okay.
are you looking at me?
Yes, you raised your hand. So
Oh, okay, I couldn't,
Yeah.
just signal
Yeah,
or
I'm
something.
kind of,
we
we're trying
have-
to approve this motion.
We are, discussion purposes, we are not in the habit or practice of using capitalized items as a chargeback to current owners, are we, Steve? We don't do that anywhere else in our community. Or do we?
In most instances, we do not include depreciation. So
Depreciation,
top of my
right.
head, forgive me, I don't recall which. We have one or two that we have. So, but typically not. So, and this was to the best of my knowledge, probably a one-time item. So after it's fully depreciated, then that component would go away potentially, unless it was replaced after 10 or so years.
Okay,
And that's the reason why, typically.
all right. So is this a current practice?
Including depreciation, no, it is not.
Okay, so this would be a departure in the way that budgets are calculated and fees are calculated at this moment and going forward. Is this something that we need to take up today, or for the sake of moving this forward, can we vote on it as is and take it up for the 26 budget when that comes around, as it will very soon?
Sure, 100%.
Okay.
Yes, Egon.
Yeah, I've got to agree with Allison. We do so many capital improvement projects that specifically benefit one club, say billiards club, just because it's early in the alphabet and it's early in the morning and I can't remember what comes later. But no, just, capital improvements, that would have to be a whole new subject.
Right.
And while I agree with Steve on responsibility to recover stuff that you use, it's something we need to look at for the whole. Because we've done capital improvements everywhere this year, or many places this year, including least of all the stables. Oh, boy.
Yes, Alan.
And that would include the golf, too. We have a lot of capital expenses in the golf, so.
So I'd like to make a final remark.
Okay.
There was no electric gate. It was a manual gate. It was a manual gate for 40 years or as long as it was, and it had a $50 lock on it. It was not a line item, it was not an asset that now will need to be maintained and replaced. So it wasn't a reserve item. So magically we invented something new for a select group of people for an amount of money, and now it is a reserve item, and it will have to be accounted for and maintained and replaced. As far as this not being typical, when the driving range was resurfaced, and that was some time ago, and it took a long time. Egon remembers it well. He was chair of M&C, and it started out as a big number, and it got revised down to something more reasonable, and it got revised down again. And I made the recommendation as an advisor at that time when I was on the GRF M&C committee that in order to offset the expense of the refurbishment of the golf driving range, that the price collected for the full and half and quarter bucket of balls be doubled. And that was precisely done. And it brought in, I believe, an extra $100,000 a year to help offset the refurbishment of that facility for those individual members of our community that use it. So I would just like to mention that because I don't think everyone is aware of the fact that it was done specifically for that reason, to offset the additional expenditures for refurbishing the driving range. Thank you.
Yeah, so you finished? Okay, so let's call for the vote and get this item finished before we lose sight of what we were doing. So, no, it's not. It's still in front of you. So, all in favor or against, please vote on your screen. This is regarding item number 11C, correct?
Correct.
The storage fee, the RV storage recommendations. Okay. So, go ahead, please. Did it go through?
Allison, do you just want to give me a thumbs up or thumbs down if you're, okay, thank you.
Pardon?
We have the vote, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, this was item number 11C. So next is 12A, entertain a motion to approve California Club request for rollover exception. I think we went over this last month, or did we?
We did. I'm trying to find it here.
It was voted in favor at the CAC meeting. So does anybody need a revision on what it was? Pardon? You want to read the resolution, Egon, please?
Yeah, we need to,
Okay.
unfortunately. For one club. Let me drink something before I start this long sucker.
It does? Does this need to go on a 28-day notice?
It has not. I'm not sure it needs to though, because it doesn't involve fees or anything like that.
Pardon?
I don't know if it needs to.
Yeah.
No, all the items on new business today are not under 28-day notification.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Yeah. Thank you.
Resolution 2024-XX. California Club request for rollover exemption. Whereas Resolution 90-18-05 was approved on January 2, 2018, which sets policies and operating rules and usage for GRF facilities, and Whereas approved recreation and special events department policy section regarding permanent/rollover reservation status, the rollover must have a minimum of 4 identical reservations during the calendar year. All dates in the series must be the same day of the month, week, such as the first Tuesday, every Tuesday, etc. At the same time and duration, and in the same room, no modifications, date, time, duration, location, etc. are permitted. And whereas the California Club requests an exemption to the permanent rollover reservation policy for the 4th Tuesday of September of each year for an event at Clubhouse 2, which includes exclusive use of the entire clubhouse and parking loop. And whereas this event will be in lieu of the California Club monthly dance at Clubhouse 5, held on the same evening each month. The request for a different facility than the clubhouse, California Clubhouse's normal Tuesday club rollover reservation, which would normally be submitted as the lottery request. And whereas 2026 lottery requests are due by June 15th, 2025, and are awarded by August 1st, 2025, and the club is requesting the exemption to bypass the process and guarantee the date available for their annual event. And whereas on November 14th, 2024, the Community Activities Committee reviewed and recommended the California Club's request to the exemption of the permanent rollover reservation policy for the 4th Tuesday in September of each year for the event at the Clubhouse 2, which includes exclusive use of the entire clubhouse facility and the parking loop. Now therefore be it resolved December 3rd, 2024, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopts an exception to for the resident request for accepting to waive the room reservation exception rate of $1,154 minimum 4-hour reservation, including setup, for a memorial care hospice / bereavement event held on May 31st, 2025 in Clubhouse 7. And resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized to carry out this resolution as written. Approval of this resolution is requested.
Okay. Is there somebody? We first asked to make a motion.
Oh, well, I won't make a motion until we get a correction. There is a correction that, is it on, start with now therefore, is that it? So that whole paragraph should be removed?
Which
Okay.
paragraph?
The second to the last, now therefore be it resolved.
Yeah.
That whole paragraph should be removed. That's on the next entertain a motion. So
Yeah.
that will be removed to there. So everything will be up to, you know, whereas.
You're right.
I wonder how
Because
that sneaked in.
it's a mix-up, because
Yes,
the
Yeah.
top part is about California Club, and
Yes.
that paragraph is about the Memorial Care Hospice program.
Yeah.
So
okay,
there is a,
so,
did you see that? Staff?
okay. So
Okay.
I will make the motion to approve it without that paragraph.
Yes, with amendment.
Yes, with
Yes.
amendment.
If I,
Any,
Are you seconding?
Gary second?
Or Gary seconds?
No,
Okay.
I'm asking to talk about it, actually.
One second, but
we
let's
gotta have
get a second
before
first.
you can ask.
Second, anybody? Okay, Allison seconds. Okay, comment, Gary? Oh, you were seconding, I'm so sorry. Okay. Okay, who is commenting? Yes, William?
If we simply delete the now therefore, then the resolution means nothing. I think what we need to do is substitute the correct language in the now therefore part, right? Because what we're doing is being asked to pass a waiver of the lottery policy for the California Club.
Correct.
So that we have all the whereases as to why we're going to make the change, and then we're deleting the paragraph that announces a change. It happens to be the wrong change. But without the information in the now therefore paragraph, the resolution does nothing.
I agree with you.
So we get the right language and.
Okay. How will we accomplish that?
We can just,
Miss Allison, do you see what we are talking about?
Morning.
Good morning.
Yes, wouldn't we just substitute in the,
It's page 11 of 12.
for the resident requests? So it's the California Club request for an exception to the permanent rollover reservation policy for the fourth Tuesday in September of each year for an event at Clubhouse 2, which includes exclusive use of the entire clubhouse and the parking loop?
Go to the paragraph, the second last paragraph on page 11 of 12.
Yes. Now therefore it be resolved December 3rd, 2024, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopts an exception for the California Club's request for an exception to the permanent rollover reservation policy for the fourth Tuesday in September of each year for an event at Clubhouse 2, which includes exclusive use of the entire clubhouse and the parking loop.
Are you looking at the second last paragraph?
Yeah, she's giving us the language for the second last
That's the
paragraph.
language I believe you're looking
Is
Could
that,
you have-
is that language, the immediately preceding sentence, immediately preceding paragraph moved into affirmative language?
Yes.
Can we rewrite that just really quickly, somebody? I mean, it
Yep.
is the electronic age.
Paul is updating the minutes right now.
Okay, I'd like to make one comment that
Yes.
you need to look at. It says the entire clubhouse, wonderful, and the parking loop, not so wonderful. You can't guarantee that that parking loop was yet you're going to shut down golf for the day?
No, the parking loop is just the area in front of the Clubhouse 2, so it's where people pull up usually and unload their stuff.
Is the top part near it's like the horseshoe near the clubhouse.
There's a few parking
Even
spots.
that, you can't say golfers don't, how are you going to identify who's there?
Exactly. We're not going to worry
I
about
think,
it.
there's no, I don't know if there's language when they have the other big events in there to that extent. I think parking is just haphazard as available, first come, first served. I'm just saying, maybe it shouldn't be in there because it's
We do
confusing.
close,
at what it
for
means.
4th of July, we closed down that area, and we put up some tents and tables, and the flow of traffic does still work on the lower levels of the parking lot, so we are able to control it. I think in the beginning, it would be open for people to drop off, but actually during the event, they don't want cars crossing over with so many people. So, but we have done it at 4th of July,
Okay,
and it seems
okay.
to work okay.
I have a couple questions.
How can we correct the language here?
It's being rewritten right now.
So, Paul, I believe it's already been
I have a
rewritten
question.
in the minutes.
Do you want to bring it up on the screen or something?
So now therefore be it resolved, December 3rd, 2024, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopts the California Club's request for an exception to the permanent/rollover reservation policy for the fourth Tuesday in September of each year for an event at Clubhouse 2, which excludes exclusive use of the entire clubhouse and the parking loop.
So is that okay, Ellen? That's the correction. Okay.
My apologies for that.
I wanted to ask Allison a couple questions, if I could. Can I ask a couple questions?
Yes.
Do we charge any clubs for room rentals?
Yes.
How do you decide which clubs you charge and which clubs you don't charge?
All clubs who use the clubhouse rooms will pay a rental fee for that room. This is and they will pay for use of the facility. This club will pay for use of the facility.
Oh, so California Club will pay for
Yes.
use of the facility?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, this is just an exception to the policy to allow them to have their event outside of their rollover reservation.
Okay.
So there was a mistake with the Memorial Club being, mixed up with this. That was the only thing. Not Memorial Club, Memorial Care.
No, I was talking about the California Club, whether they actually
you're
pay
right.
to use the
But
facility.
I'm just saying, in this section, there was a mix-up that we mentioned.
Right.
Memorial Care will pay a lower amount, but that's not this one. Anyway, so we voted for it, and it has been approved, correct?
No, I have the votes up on screen now, so you guys
Okay.
should be able to vote now.
So, okay.
Is this on the
let's-
amendment or on the?
This is on, you guys are approving the resolution as amended for the California Club request.
Okay, that is number 12A.
Yes, 12A.
So all in favor, please vote. Motion carries. We have,
It was approved unanimously.
yes, thank you. We have some happy campers, no?
So next, we have an endorsement, actually, for the Memorial Care bereavement thing, but there's no resolution to go with it.
Number 12B, is that the one you're talking about?
Well, I don't have one.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Let me see if it got missed up.
It's here somewhere even.
No, here it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My mistake.
Probably down at 14.
Okay. Resolution 90-24-XX. Resident request to waive the room reservation exception rate. Whereas Resolution 90-12-132 and, 90-18-03, 90-12-12, and 90-16-18 establish guidelines for shared costs and fees. Certain fees can be imposed upon users for various recreational facilities to control crowding, mitigate overusage, and recover operating costs. Whereas the room reservation fees administered by the Golden Rain Foundation of the Laguna Woods Board of Directors adhere to the shared cost guidelines established by Resolution 90-12-132, whereby certain fees can be imposed upon users of various recreation facilities in order to control crowding and minimize overusage and to recover the operating costs. And whereas the resident requests for an exception rate to waive the room reservation exception rate for the Memorial Care Hospice/bereavement event, May 31st, 2025, at Clubhouse 7. And whereas the GRF pricing policy contained two rates, resident rate and exception rate, referred to the GRF fee list, attachment 1 and 2. A, resident rate applies to all Laguna Woods Village residents. Weddings and wedding receptions for residents and private resident events such as birthdays, memorial, and anniversary parties. Exception rate applies to non-Laguna Woods Village organizations or group for which a resident requires a reservation, weddings and/or wedding receptions for non-residents and are limited to only sibling, children, parents, and grandparents of residents. All club/group/organization reservations which have more than 50% non-residents in attendance and are charging admittance or accepting donations, brackets, club, group, organization, dash approved fundraisers are exempt. And whereas Memorial Care is a title sponsor for GRF, however, this event is not included as a benefit in the contract. And whereas on November 14, 2024, the Community Activities Committee reviewed and recommended that the resident request for an exemption fee to waive the room reservation exception rate of $1,554, a minimum of 4-hour reservation, including setup, for a Memorial Care Hospice Bereavement event on May 31st, 2025, at Clubhouse 7. Now therefore, be it resolved, December 3rd, 2024, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopts an exception for the resident requests, accepting to waive the room reservation rate of $1,154, minimum 4-hour reservation, including setup, for the Memorial Care Hospice Bereavement event on May 31st, 2025, at Clubhouse 7, and resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized to carry out this resolution as written. Approval of this resolution is requested.
Okay. Okay. Martin seconds. I call for the vote.
No comments.
Any comments, anybody?
There is a member comment.
Okay,
If
Martin
permitted.
first.
What is the, do we know the variance from the exception rate from the resident rate? Is Allison here?
Allison, would you be able to tell us that?
Give me 1 second here.
It's a big difference, I know that.
It is a big difference,
Yes.
yes. I don't have the exact right in front of me. Thought we had it in the staff report. Hold on 1 second. There is a chart that has all the exception room rates. And it also has the,
Here, it's rather tiny, otherwise I would have read it to you.
Wow.
Could somebody tell me in plain English what this is?
Pardon?
What are we doing? I mean, I'm just, what is it that we're doing?
I'll explain it to you.
Okay.
Memorial Care, as you know, provides all kinds of services.
Yeah.
So within that, there is a hospice group which gives the family to bereavement for their departed. So this is a lady who lives in Laguna Woods, is asking to rent the room and be able to get an exception because Memorial Care is an external organization. And what they're doing is they're renting the room for 3 or 4 hours and asking for all the people who lost their dear departed people to come that day and be able to what is the correct word? For the bereavement of their people. And at the same time, they are going to let go a lot of butterflies to feel better for those people. Now,
As it relates to the economics, though.
huh?
As it relates to the economics. what do
Okay,
we do?
now I am not able to give you that differential that she will provide you, but I was just telling you what
What the event is.
what the event is.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It would be $52.91 versus the $11.54.
Okay, so we're charging them the resident rate, not the outside rate?
Correct.
So they're requesting a complete waiver of fees.
So zero?
Yes, we would charge them because she's a resident booking on behalf of an outside organization. We would normally charge the exception fee. She's asking for that to be waived because she's a resident doing good for volunteers in the community, basically.
So instead of charging what? We're going to zero?
And instead of charging the $11.54 that's in the resolution.
Understood. Thank you very much.
Okay, yes, Alan?
I didn't approve this, and because Memorial Care is not sponsoring this, she's just using that as a title. This is a title that Memorial Care did the hospice, and this is a way out from our what we allow when you rent a room. So at the CAC, on the white paper, it states I didn't approve it, and I still don't approve it. Thank you.
Any comments? Any more comments?
This is a letter from,
There is a member comment.
Okay.
Marie Collins.
I would just like you to bear in mind, as you make this decision, the value of goodwill, that many Memorial Care things have done for us, and the costs that we're talking about here. I'd just like you to bear those things in mind.
Thank you. Truly appreciate that. And, yes.
To tail on what Maria said, Memorial Care does contribute some $600,000 to the media and communications effort here every year.
It's incomparable to what we are doing for this, yes.
Yeah.
So I would really request everybody to put their minds in the right place and vote for this. So I call for the vote. Okay. Has everybody voted?
Short one. There we go.
Okay, I think motion carries.
Steve, can you just give me a thumbs up or thumbs down?
Steve?
Oh, thank you. It wasn't showing up on my.
Okay. All right. Next is entertain a motion to receive and file the Clubhouse One change order and budget report. Do we have somebody from the staff over here? Okay, there you go.
Good morning, Board of Directors. I see some new faces. For those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Guy West, and I'm the manager of the Projects Division. I'm here to bring you a report, and this follows the guidelines of our purchasing policy. So we're bringing you a change order and a budget report on the recent Clubhouse One renovation. We've provided you with a summarization of the change orders that were involved with the project and included in the budgeting. We've given you a breakdown of the project expenditures, so that's under the financial analysis. And for those of you who may not know or you are aware, the board awarded a contract on November 7th for the renovation of Clubhouse One. On March 4th, a contractor began the construction process, and it was completed in September 16th. The clubhouse was reopened and was utilized by all the residents. So in full operation as of that date. So I'm here to answer any questions. If you have any questions about the breakdown or what was spent, the amount that was budgeted for this project was $3,250,000, and the expenditures are in the neighborhood of $3,100,000. So there is a balance on the encumbrances of about $111,000, and that would go back to the reserves upon your approval.
So in short, you're saying that you spent less than what was budgeted?
In short, that's what we're saying.
Okay.
Thank
good.
you for that.
Yeah, that is the easy way to understand. So everybody in the sky will understand that too. Yes, but before you go any further, I have one more comment to give. There were a couple of things that were back ordered and waiting to be received and installed. Can you give us a status on that?
Sure. So there's one outstanding item right now that are the partitions, and it's been more of a coordination process between the contractor and the events that are going on at the facility. So I think that we have this week, we have set a time for those partitions to be installed. It's basically just the screens. Everything else involved in that partition has been installed. So the header, the track, it's just a matter of the screen that needs to be installed.
Got it. Everything else is done?
Yes.
Even the storage cabinets and stuff like
Yes,
that?
so the storage cabinets weren't originally a part of the scope of work, but yes, they've been completed. What we are dealing with now is just warranty items. So if you bought a car and you had a light that came on in your car, you would have to coordinate with your work and getting the car into the shop to have it fixed. So it's the same thing. We have some warranty items that we have to coordinate between the contractor and the events that are going on at the facility.
So good. Congratulations for getting it done on time and also for coming under budget. Thank you. Yes, Martin.
I know late, it was furnishings that was ordered kind of late. We took delivery on furnishings and.
So I don't have the status of the furnishings. I know that they've been ordered. I think that Allison could give you more information on the furnishings.
Furnishings, you mean tables and chairs?
Yes, they are slowly trickling in. We have received some shipments just last week and this week. Flyer racks are being installed finally. That was a very big thing for the club so they can get their flyers out. We've received some chairs, so things are starting to trickle in. We did have a backup on some of those items.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Hold on, can we get a motion first before we're open for discussion?
Pardon?
Can we get a motion first on this? We need a motion first.
Okay. Did we make a motion? I don't think so.
It hasn't been read yet, I don't think it's been read.
We have to read the resolution. But can we, since we are in the questions, do we need to finish the questions?
You have to make the motion first before you go to questions.
Okay. So I guess, Guy, you'll have to take a chair and. Okay. You want to read the resolution, please?
Okay. Resolution 90-24-XX. Receive and file Clubhouse 1 renovation change order and budget report. Whereas on November 7th, 2023, the Board of Directors approved a contract with Real Estate Consulting and Services, Inc., for the implementation of planned Clubhouse 1 renovation project, and whereas work began on March 4th, 2024, and on September 16th, 2024, the entire facility was reopened for all residents, and whereas November 26th, 2024, all work has been inspected and satisfactorily completed, and whereas the final report is required to be presented to the Board of Directors for the completion of the project detailing the contract amount and all approved contract change orders. Now therefore be it resolved December 3rd, 2024, that the Board of Directors of this corporation are hereby acknowledges receiving the Clubhouse 1 renovation change order and budget report, and resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purposes of this resolution. approval of this resolution is requested.
I'll second it.
Okay, Martin seconds. We have still more questions. Yes, Ellen?
I had a question about the fitness room and the flooring that was laid and the smell, the odor in there. Is it still there?
Yeah, we've addressed this. It will take some time for that odor to completely go away. It's recycled tire rubber. It's going to have an odor for a little bit. What we've recommended is that windows be open and ventilation when, for the odor. But we've already brought forth all the documentation as far as the safety data, and it's not harmful. It's just an odor. It may be obnoxious, but it will go away.
Anybody else?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
Guy, there was, at that meeting, there was also a comment about noise intrusion on certain of the rooms that have hardcover floors. Has any thought been given to that, and would that ultimately be included in the change order here?
No, it's not a part of this change order. It will be a separate item. We are aware. We are making plans for this upcoming year to possibly bring in an expert, take them through those areas, and then get a recommendation on how to mitigate that noise that, in those rooms. That is the plan right now that we're looking at. And I'm sure those recommendations will be something of, it's going to have a cost to it. So we'll bring that to the committee as it unfolds.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll meet. Who else has a comment?
Let's vote. Let's vote.
Okay.
Can I ask one quick?
Yeah, yes.
I just wanted to ask one quick question. This is more for a process than this specific project. But when we approve a project like a $3 million project like that, do we also build in a contingency for you? Because typically projects don't come in under budget. Or do you have to come back for every single change order that you want to make?
No, typically we try to build in the funding portion of it, that we try to build in a contingency amount. If it exceeds that, then yes, we would come to the board for approval. However, we don't typically have that issue.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. In that case, I call for the question to vote.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody voted? I think there's one missing. It's 8, so 2.
I'm missing
Did I not
Kush and
vote?
Egon's
Sorry.
votes.
Huh? I thought I did.
Okay, they're,
Is it in?
Still don't see Kush.
no, it's not. Do you want to give me a thumbs up or thumbs down and I can input it? Oh, there we go, perfect, it's in. Thank
You
you.
have to really knock on it. Anyway, next item is 12D. And that is to entertain a motion to approve transfer from the trust facilities fee fund to the equipment fund and facilities fund. This is a regularly routine kind of an event that we do on a monthly basis or annual basis.
Well, let's read the resolution.
Just a quick
Can we
question.
skip up?
Okay. You want to read the resolution too?
Certainly,
Thank you.
if I can find it here. Okay. Resolution 90-24-XX. Approve transfer between reserve funds. Whereas the trust fee was established in 2012 and to maintain and improve the recreational and other amenities available to the residents of Laguna Woods Village. Whereas of September 30th, 2024, the balance of the trust fee fund was $19.9 million, and whereas approved and contracted reserve study includes 2024 transfer of $5 million from the trust facilities fee to the trust to the equipment reserve fund, and $4 million from the trust facilities fee to the facilities reserve fund. And whereas as defined by Resolution 90-16-52, the board shall determine the appropriate allocations from the trust fee to meet reserve expenditures. Now therefore be it resolved on December 3, 2024, that the Board of Directors hereby approves a transfer of $5 million from the trust fee fund to the equipment fund, and the transfer of $4 million from the trust facilities fee fund to the facilities reserve fund, and resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution. Approval of this resolution is requested.
Thank you, Martin. Okay. So, any discussion?
Yes.
Hello again. So this resolution, let me start off by saying the trust facility fee fund is created for the sole purpose of collecting the fees. There's no planned expenditures directly from this fund. So through your annual budgetary process, you determine what is going to be expended from both the equipment fund and the facilities fund. And a partial way to fund those, as opposed to assessments, is to transfer money from these trust facilities fee fund into both the equipment and the facilities fee fund. So I don't want to say this is a regular occurrence. It does happen about once every other year, depending on when the funds are necessary. So again, you approved a budget. We are recommending here to move the monies in order to fund those expenditures. Simple as that.
Okay. With that, anybody else have any comments?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Who did you point to?
I'm asking if anybody has.
Oh, we just have a member comment, but the board
okay.
can go first.
Yeah, so the comment I got on this is, I don't have any problem with transferring funds to pay for things that we have ongoing or that need to be paid. But I'm a little concerned about the size of the movement for unnecessary things as they stand now. And the other thing that really bothers me is the way that the trust facilities fee has been discussed and stuff in the past. And people have said things like, this is not really real money because it doesn't come out of monthly assessments. But I was there when we increased it from $2,500 to $5,000 for the properties, and the specific statements were that we're doing this so that we don't have to jack up the GRF assessment for that year, period. I thought that was okay, but also very wrong in a way. Because I said later, we should show what we're collecting in lieu of that, because we're collecting it every year now, and it's gone up again. When we went from 5,000 to 75, we didn't even give the nicety of this, it's covering our butts, we're just doing it, which, again, so this is the biggest pile of money that we got, okay? So first of all, when we get the thing in the globe, which shows what all the clubs are, or all the groups are charging the residents, this is not included in that summary. And it should be, because it is an assessment, not a voluntary one. It is an assessment that if you want in here, you will pay this, just as your assessments are that if you will pay them if you want to stay. So it's absolutely mandatory. It should show up in the GRF assessment, and if it had been showing up in the GRF assessment, then it would have shown that the GRF assessments did in fact rise faster than the other mutuals, which were highly criticized for having increased. What I'm saying is, we got this sweeping statement to transfer $9 million, which we may eventually do, and as Steve said they don't charge directly to this, although I don't understand why not. That's what it's collected for. But I just suggest we reduce the amount. I would, because it's not necessary to transfer this much at this time, and we give the thing proper weighting and understanding in the future when we do the budgets. Because when you pile $4 million into the equipment fund, then you can just run out and you say, oh, I got $800,000 worth of stuff on 3 truckloads that I need. Oh, don't worry about it. We got $5 million in the fund. And those are the actual words that we have used in meetings, and those are wrong. You know, we should have a budget and it says, hey, we need money from the facilities fund to fill that budget. Not we put money in here and now you go out on a spending spree. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
You had something to say.
Help me here in understanding. The transfer fee has nothing to do with our monthly operating budget, like what has been stated, to move it from 2,500 to 5,000 so that we could make expenses. I think that's an inaccurate statement. It's more, I mean, we're talking about capital expenditure needs that are forecasted for this transfer. Am I correct in saying that?
So what Egon is referring to is, in recent years, we've shown an analysis that has said that GRF, for all corporations, the assessment has increased at a rate of about 3% per year. So as a way to, if you did not have the transfer fee, your assessments would be higher, right? So it would be impactful. However, the trust facility fee has been in place since 2012. So over 10 years, it has increased a couple instances. So to Egon's point, it went from a certain dollar amount to 5,000. It's now at 7,000. And one would assume it won't remain at 7,000 forever. Yes, the GRF is made up of both your reserve and your operating. So it does impact both, because when we report out those numbers, we treat it as a combined dollar amount. But if I may, just to address Egon's comment as well, your expenses are budgeted. We anticipate money being collected in the trust facility fee fund. We anticipate it being transferred over into the equipment and the facilities fund to pay for those expenditures. Again, the board is approving a budget, and you're spending based on those budgets. There is no spending spree taking place. It's all approved in the budget. Everything is above board and fully transparent, and we report on a monthly, if not every other month basis.
Yeah, let me make a comment to your, if the approximate, say, let's say $6 million that we're going to collect this year in the trust facilities fee were put into dollars per month for the 12,000 units, it would be $51. If we put $51 into the Globe article, we would have pitchforks outside. But the fact is, we are collecting that money, and that money does offset monthly fees.
It's a totally
Period.
different thing that we are talking about.
I understand. I understand. All I'm saying is, don't treat this money as if it doesn't have any significance. It does, especially the way we handle our budget. Thank you.
Is that you, Steve? How do you end up there?
I put in a request to speak.
Oh, okay.
I put in a request to speak. For Mr. Hormuth, if my recollection serves me correctly, part of the explanation you gave for this previously was that this has something to do with the year-end balances in the accounts, so that as it applies to our reserve studies, that it shows the monies for reserves as had been prescribed by the reserve analyst, where we would be at the end of the year. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Thank you.
And what you will see later on, once you get to the treasurer's report, is the equipment fund has an ending balance, but there's projects in place. So right now, the adjusted balance is a negative balance. Again, there is sufficient funds amongst all three reserves, but to put it in the proper place requires this transfer. In addition to that, to get to the balance that we had included in your reserve study, that's where this recommended transfers come from, is to get your year-end balance to the dollar amount that we included as part of your budget, as far as your research.
Thank you.
Okay. Has everybody requested their comments?
We-
If there's none, I call for the vote.
We do have a member comment.
Okay.
Mr. John Beckett.
Mr. Beckett, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
Very, thank you.
Welcome to the chairs of the president's chair.
I appreciate your comment. Yeah.
The trust facilities fees was established in 2012, it says here. Well, actually, it was established in 2011. They didn't start collecting the fees until 2012. But this is the resolution that established the trust facilities fee. I'm going to give you all a copy.
You just give it to Michaela. Your time is getting depleted.
Why is it important to find out why the trust was established? Well, here's why. The board shall not expend reserve funds for any purpose other than repair, restoration, replacement, or maintenance of major components and for which the fund was established. As you can see from this resolution, the fund was established to, quote, ensure the continuation of the amenities that make Laguna Woods Village unique. This was established as a trust, as a reserve fund. It says down here, the next paragraph, second resolve, the entirety of each such fee, when and as paid by the purchasers, shall be deposited into the trust facilities fund reserve account. That tells you what to do with it, how to handle it, what it's for. When the board created this fund, this trust facilities fund, their intention was not to improve, but to maintain, to keep things going the way they are. And actually, no. If you look at, it says up here at the top of the resolution that the trust says that the Golden Rain Foundation is that their duty is to improve the recreational and other amenities. Well, no, the trust doesn't say that either. I'll give $100 to anybody who can find that sentence in the trust. And what it says is, GRF shall construct the improvements. That was the list of all the clubhouses and all the streets and so on. I believe that some of you attended my time's up?
Yes, speaker time is up.
That's why I was telling you to.
Thank you.
Please.
Finish your thought, very briefly.
We'll give you that half a minute.
May I? Okay. If I were to give you new directors one piece of advice, it would be protect yourselves at all times. I believe that this resolution needs to be vetted by either an independent accountant or an attorney. I do not believe staff is competent to make this decision. And if you want to protect yourselves and if you want to protect Golden Rain and its members, I suggest that you postpone this until you have consulted with an independent accountant or an attorney. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John.
Let's do.
Yes, John. Yes, Steve.
So prior to this coming before the board, we did consult your attorney, and she reviewed all the documents pertaining to the trust facility fund and confirmed that there is nothing that precludes you from transferring the money to do exactly what we're recommending.
Okay. All right. So, call for a vote. Okay. So, all right. So this passes. So next item is the resolution to approve our committee assignments. Is there a resolution for that?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Yes, there is.
I don't.
So, when the boards change at this time of year, there are large numbers of people that leave the board, the committees. So I'm not going to read all of the names of the dearly departed.
Is it?
Yeah, we do it 5 minutes. Sorry.
I'm going to read the chairman of each committee and any new additions to that committee only. Resolution 90-24-XX, GRF Committee Assignments, result December 3rd, 2024. The following persons are hereby appointed and ratified to serve on the committees for this of this corporation.
Okay. I don't think you want to read the whole thing.
No, community, I'm just going to read the chairman and the new arrivals. Okay, which is what it says up there, persons hereby appointed. I'm just the chairman, just for context, if you like. Communities Activities Committee, Kush Bada is the new chairman. Ellen Leonard for GRF, Brad Reinhardt, alternate GRF. Finance Committee, Allison Bach, GRF, is the new arrival.
William Cohen is the chair.
Oh, sorry, William Cohen, Chair. Information Technology Advisory Committee, ITAC, Martin Rosa, Chair. Kush Bada, alternate GRF. Gene Costello, alternate United.
He's United.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you going to read the whole thing?
Only the names of the arrivals.
Okay.
Landscape Committee, Kush Bada is the chair. Brad Reinhardt, GRF. Allison Bach, alternate GRF. Maintenance and Construction Committee, Brad Reinhardt, chair. Egon Garthofner, GRF. Gary Durst, alternate GRF. Steve Parsons, third. Media Communication Committee, Allison Bach, chair, GRF. Gary Durst, GRF. Egon Garthofner, alternate GRF. Peggy Moore, third. Broadband Ad Hoc Committee, Martin Rosa, chair. William Cohen, GRF. Allison Bach, alternate GRF. New advisor, Juanita Skillman. Mobility and Vehicles Committee, Stephen Leonard, chair. Gary Durst, GRF. Manohar Motwani, alternate GRF. Ruth Johnson, third. Steve Parsons, third. Peggy Moore, alternate, third. Securities and Community Access, Egon Garthofner, chair. Manohar Motwani, alternate GRF. Disaster Preparedness Task Force, Eric Nunez is the co-chair, Martin Rosa co-chair, Ellen Leonard, GRF, Manohar Motwani, alternate GRF, Steve Parsons, third. Laguna Woods Village traffic hearings. Chair will alternate between boards. Gary Durst from GRF, Ellen Leonard, alternate GRF. Select Audit Task Force. William Cohen, Chair, Allison Bach, GRF. Executive Hearings Committee. William Cohen, GRF. Allison Bach, GRF. Kush Bada, GRF. Space Planning Ad Hoc Committee. Kush Bada, new chair, GRF. Egon Garthofner, GRF. Allison Bach, GRF. El Toro Water District, new addition, Brad Reinhardt, GRF. That is all the committee assignments.
All right. Do we need to vote on this?
No.
Yes?
Yes, we need a first and a second.
Oh, to approve them? Okay.
So,
Make a motion to.
yes, so Allison and Martin.
To accept the
Yes.
committee assignments as posted.
Excellent. So let's vote, people. Can't see it.
What?
Did it go through? Okay. All right. So we are halfway through. Do we want to take a 5-minute break? Okay. I think that would be good time to stretch out. All right. We'll be back. committee reports. The next report, the next item on the list is the report of the Finance Committee. And I give it over to William.
Thank you. All right. Let's direct your attention to the screen for the reports. This is slide one. This first table includes all revenues and expenses for operating reserves and restricted funds. Through the reporting period of October 31, 2024, GRF had a net revenue of $3 million with a total revenue of $44.1 million and a total expense of $41.1 million. GRF was worse than budget by $97,000, with total expenses coming in lower than budget by $47,000. The next slide, please. This next table shows the operating fund activities, which excludes non-operating revenue, expenses, and depreciation. This report shows a favorable variance of $206,000 through the reporting period, with expenses better than budget by $117,000, offset by non-assessment revenue better than budget by $89,000. Next slide, please. All right, this slide shows our most significant operating fund variances by category, with green bars representing favorable variances to budget and orange bars representing unfavorable items. Favorable. Overall, we had favorable variances in cable programming and franchise fees that were favorable by $382,000 due to cable programming being over budgeted. The variance is expected to continue through the end of the year. The 2025 business plan was adjusted to reflect this. Then we have employee compensation and related are favorable to budget by $273,000 in general services and landscape due to various open positions. Landscape had open gardener and irrigation positions. Open positions remain throughout the organization. Recruitment is in process. Partial offset to the savings is found in recreation as events operating hours return to pre-pandemic levels, and the 2025 budget has been adjusted to reflect this. All right, we have miscellaneous revenue that was favorable by $267,000, primarily due to more electric charging station revenue as a result of the rate increases that took effect September 2023 after the 2024 budget was finalized. And additionally, the clubhouse labor revenues in the Performing Arts Center were higher than budgeted due to the high number of events held by clubs. Furthermore, the demand was higher year to date for personal training and group classes at the fitness center. And then we have clubhouse rentals and event fees that were favorable by $170,000 due to more event fee revenue at the Performing Arts Center for such events as the King of Queen, Jimmy Buffett, and the ABBA Fab Tribute Bands. All right, let's go on to the unfavorables. Outside services were unfavorable by $246,000, primarily due to grounds maintenance outsourcing work as gardener positions are filled. Furthering the unfavorable variance, there was an increase in credit card usage as the preferred payment of method among residents. Okay, utilities and telephone were unfavorable by $442,000, primarily due to electricity rates being higher than budgeted. The electricity budget has been adjusted for the 2025 plan. And we have broadband services that were unfavorable by $637,000 due to clients allocating less money to cable TV advertising and instead towards other digital programs that provide advertising metrics. In addition, internet revenue is slightly over budgeted, which has been adjusted for the 2025 budget. Finally, the revenue for set-top boxes is lower than anticipated as streaming becomes more popular amongst the community. All right, if we could have the next slide, please. All right, this slide shows sources of revenue other than assessments, such as fees and rentals. To date, we've received $9.1 million of non-assessment operating fund revenue, as shown in this pie chart. By category, we can see that our largest revenue is broadband services, which is the internet and set-top boxes, ad insertions, and premium channels, followed by golf revenue and other revenue, which includes class fees, electric vehicle charging revenue, additional occupant fees, equestrian center fees, and RV storage fees, among others. Additionally, clubhouse rentals and event fees and merchandise sales. These revenues offset costs and help keep the assessments down. Number 5, please. All right. This slide, consistent with prior months, our largest operating fund expense is compensation, followed by cable and programming expenses. Of the $36.8 million excluding depreciation, these two categories account for 62% of the total operating expense. Insurance, professional, and legal, utilities and fuel, outside services, et cetera, make up the remaining 38%. Slide 6. The reserve and restricted fund balances are shown here. Starting in the first column to the left, reserve funds have a combined ending balance of $44.6 million. Restricted fund balances have an ending balance of $2.8 million. Included in these totals are contributions received this year through assessments, trust facility fees, and investment earnings. The second column shows the work in progress of $11.4 million for reserve and $43,000 for restricted, reflecting the amounts paid for projects not yet completed. And the third column represents the resulting adjusted balances of $33.1 million for reserve and $2.8 million for restricted. Slide 7, please. We have a slide here to show resale history from 2022 through 2024. Community-wide sales total 647 through October 31st, 2024. Most of these transactions generate the trust facilities fee, a transfer fee used as a source of revenue for our services. Slide number 8, please. The listing on this slide gives you an idea of where the reserve money is committed. Of the $29.8 million appropriated by the board for various projects and equipment purchases, the remaining encumbrances against our reserve funds is $14.5 million, primarily for renovation projects. Restricted funds had total appropriations of $47,000 for the West Creek Fuel Modification Project, which has been completed. And slide 9. All right, we compare our adjusted fund balances to historical balances for the past 5 years on this chart, and showing that the GRF has averaged $29.4 million in reserve funds and $2.7 million in contingency funds. And thus endeth the reading of the word.
Are you done, William?
I think I'm done.
Okay, thank you. So with that, we come to the next report, which is for the Community Activities Committee, and that would be me to report on it. The Community Activities Committee was on November 14, 2024. It was held in the boardroom, and we discussed many items. Part of them were also as items for to be approved today in our meeting. The Equestrian Center fee recommendation, the RV club, the RV lot fees, and we, apart from the other stuff that we discussed, it was, we had the village games that got completed, and we also discussed quite a few things. Actually, I'm not too prepared for this report, and I apologize for that. So our next meeting is next week on the 12th of December, 2024 at 1:30 p.m. Next item on our reports is the, where is it? The Landscape Committee report. We haven't had a Landscape Committee report, Landscape Committee meeting so far. The last one was August 14th, 2024. Next one is December 11th, which is coming up next week. And it's at a new time at 1:30 p.m. So people, and I want to highlight that there is going to be something like a field trip for people who are going to be on this committee meeting, be present so that we can get on the bus and go looking around whatever the landscape department has scheduled for us, and we'll have a meeting subsequently. Okay, with that, I will hand it over next to a report of the Maintenance and Construction Committee. Director Reinhardt, do you have any report to give us?
I haven't actually been involved with the committee yet. I just took over. We do have my first meeting will be on December 11th, which is currently scheduled.
Also, oh, very nice, okay.
Yes.
Okay, all right, moving along, then the next item is report of the Media and Communications Committee, and that would be Alison Bach, Director Bach.
Like other committees, we have a total turnover in committee membership and leadership and all of that and advisory. So the next meeting is going to be January 20th, but ahead of time, I'm working with VMS staff to set up some ideas to put in front of the committee when we do meet. So to be continued. Thank you.
Indeed, yes. So next item is the report of the Broadband Ad Hoc Committee, Director Rosa.
Thank you. Yeah, the closed committee met on November 18th, 2024, and it is to be determined as to when our next meeting is, but I'm sure you've all been staying tuned. There's been a lot of information going out, presentations, publications, things that we're getting over to media and communications about the current state of the broadband in the village and possibly the direction that we need to go. So stay tuned. Thank you.
Next item is report of the Mobility and Vehicles Committee, Director
I have a
Stephen
question for Martin.
Sorry?
I have a question for Martin.
Director Martin, okay.
It seemed like there was a...
Microphone?
We get a lot of revenue from the broadband. Almost half of our revenue is from the broadband, right?
I'm sorry, what is your question?
Okay, now I'm saying that we have a big shortfall in the broadband revenue. So are we doing anything to take care of that?
Well, the ad hoc committee is not focused on the current broadband budget, but we're just, our mission is to researching and moving forward to the next generation services.
You will get to know a little more in our closed meeting.
Yes.
So, yeah, sorry, this is, yeah. Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay.
I can answer. The shortfall of it is that they thought that there was going to be more advertising done via with the elections, but it ended up being more internet-based rather than what occurred over our own channelized services. Thank you.
Next item, Director Stephen Leonard. Stephen?
The last Mobility and Vehicles Committee meeting was on November 6th, so there's nothing new to report. The next meeting is scheduled for February 5th at 1:30 in the boardroom.
Fabulous. Next item, report of the Security and Community Access Committee, Director Garthoffner. Maybe you will...
Well, so the next meeting is going to be December 26th, and since I'm new to this, I'm going to have a lot of stuff to learn about and to prepare for that meeting. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, under that, also there's the traffic report, traffic hearings, and Director Durst is going to be handling the first one. The next one is on December 18th at 9 a.m. It's as a virtual meeting only. How about that?
The traffic hearings are both.
Well, it says,
In-person,
here it says virtual meeting.
I know, it must be a typo.
Okay, well, Gary, please check into that.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how it could be a virtual.
No, it's not. You
Okay.
can virtually check in, but it will be in person.
Okay.
Think.
There's a typo.
All right, and the executive member hearing committee, Director Botto will be
Yeah,
handling
I
that.
have not been involved in that so far, so I have nothing to report at this point. Our next hearing is on December 5th, which is probably day after tomorrow.
Yep, have fun.
Yes. Report of the Disaster Preparedness Task Force, Director Rosa.
Yeah, we had a meeting last week, and we found out that the emergency antenna installations have come to a grinding halt because of the contractor, I guess, closed his business down. We got, they got 5 out of the 7 done. So I suggested, because I'm a certified radio engineer, I did this all my life, I can get with the ham radio club and some maintenance people. I think we could install the other 2 antennas, and then just have the ham radio club. I've got the test equipment also to test those antennas, and I believe that will be operational then. But yeah, I kind of got sucked into that. At any rate, yeah, our next meeting is January 28th, here in the boardroom.
Yeah, got the right man for disasters.
I can assure you that the new antennas that I installed will be in better shape than the old ones. I have faith in you, Martin. The next item is information technology.
Yeah, we had a meeting October 18th. We did not have a meeting in November, but I know that they're moving ahead with phase 2 as phase 1 is rolling out. And they said, but this is a closed meeting, and yeah, we'll be. It's moving ahead though, the ERP project. Thank you.
The next meeting is on December 27th. You think you will have it during that holiday week?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Well, I'll cross my fingers.
It's a Zoom.
All right. With that, we finished all our committee reports. The next item is future agenda items. Do we need to add anything into our future agenda items?
That goes to the next agenda meeting, I think.
I beg your pardon?
We would probably do that at the next agenda meeting. We don't do that here.
Correct.
Maybe-
Agenda prep is 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
All right. So if we move on to director comments, I'll start over there. Mr. Motwani, do you have any comments for the meeting?
I don't have any comments about the meeting, but I was surprised at the amount of paper we use.
Be ready.
How many trees we kill.
Unfortunately.
So I was wondering if we can send some of these by email or.
It is sent to you by email, but I guess in the previous meetings, the previous boards had elected to have both, to have paper as well as electronic. If you prefer to have electronic only, you can let the staff know and they will not print a copy for you. So,
Yeah, at least, so some of the items which are, done and finished, they could be sent by email.
Okay.
So we don't have to kill the trees.
if you check your email, it will already be there.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gary, any new comment?
No, just trying to absorb it all, being a new guy.
It's okay. Welcome. Alan?
No comment.
Thank you. William?
No further comments.
Okay. Allison?
Just a quick question, as long as Catherine is here. Catherine, do you have any idea when the VMS survey that was just closed out, when we might see some results from that?
I do not. A VMS board member is handling it, and I don't know his timeframe.
Okay, it was delegated at the board level. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Martin?
I would just want to say good meeting. I want to welcome everybody here. This is our new board, and I'm excited about working with everybody over the coming year. Thank you.
Thank you. Egon?
Yeah, Manny, Upstairs, you probably don't know about this yet, but upstairs on the way to the room, Willow Room, there's a little partition there, and just before you get there, around that partition is a recycle bin that you can put all this paper.
Be nice. Be
No,
nice.
I'm not.
I will show him where the.
Yeah.
All right. Stephen?
I just want to say congratulations to the new board members. Looking forward to working with everyone and having a very successful new year.
Brad?
No comments, thank you.
Thank you. Well, my comment would be that welcome you all. We are looking forward to an exciting year with lots of thoughts and new processes that we, not processes, projects that we want to accomplish. And I guess our new directors, brand new, you have your mentors, so speak to them and get the ropes, and you'll be able to enjoy working here. I am sure of that.
Maybe.
You will.
President Kush, what time would you like closed session to start? It's currently 12:14.
12:14, so 1 o'clock, okay? 1 is good. Let's
No problem,
recess
I'll let
till
staff
1
know.
o'clock, yes.
Thank you.
Where's that thing? There you go.